Hey guys, how are you? Coach D here, and today I'm going to be going through two food journals to give you guys kind of an understanding of what's right and what's wrong. I'm going to talk to you guys about protein, carbs, and fats because I really want you guys to understand some of the errors that are happening when it comes to proper eating and proper nutrition. I'll be sliding back and forth through different pages. Um, Hopefully, you'll see me from the bottom of the page here. And at the end of this video, if you have any questions, you can email me back. But let's talk about how the body stores fat, first of all. Okay. Number one, whenever we eat food, food turns into glucose in our stomach. So pretend you're having a slice of bread, your body consumes the food. Step number one, stomach converts food into glucose. Number two, glucose enters the bloodstream. Okay. Now, the body's going to recognize how much glucose is in your bloodstream. We're supposed to have a steady flow of glucose, and we're not supposed to be at a high level of blood sugars. If we are, our body's natural mechanism of defaulting that or organizing that to be at a certain level is by producing the hormone insulin from the pancreas. So let's say, for example, I had two slices of bread and a glass of orange juice. Blood sugar is really, really high. My brain contacts the pancreas to produce insulin, and insulin's going to pick up some of this glucose and remove it out of the bloodstream. Now, it doesn't delete the blood glucose. It doesn't burn it off and remove it in a good way. It directs it into traffic. So the body's going to say, hey, I need to get this glucose from the bloodstream into the cells, into the muscles. Now, there's three storage areas of excess glucose. You got muscle, you got liver, and fat. Okay? When the body's not going to be active, and for people who don't work out and don't pay attention to the first one, well, guess what? The body will say, we don't really need this extra sugar that you've given us for breakfast. I'm going to store some in the liver, okay, as muscle glycogen. Now, the sugar that goes into the liver that's stored into glycogen will be used for emergency purposes. For example, you miss lunch, you go from breakfast all the way to dinner, you have no food in your system. However, you still recognize that you're able to live, function, breathe, have all these cellular respiratory systems occur. Your muscles are fueled. How? Your liver will take that extra glycogen and dump it back into the bloodstream. When you sleep, your liver will take excess glucose and put it back into the bloodstream. So our body has a natural mechanism of controlling it. If, though, for example, you continuously eat foods that are high in sugar, you're eating pancakes, you're eating fruits, you're eating bread, you're eating rice, pastas, oatmeals, and you're eating them at nighttime. You're eating them first thing in the morning. You wake up, you're a client that wants to lose 20 pounds, yet you stuff your face with two slices of bread and peanut butter with no protein for breakfast. This continual process will get the body to say, you know what, liver, I'm already stuffed. Let's put some into fat. So now your body's taking excess sugar first thing in the morning or at lunch or at dinner or at 3 in the morning when you're at a party and you're drinking and you're feeling buzzed and you smash a cake or a piece of panettone. For those of you who don't know, panettone is the Italian holiday cake, or some chocolate or cookies or a bag of chips. Because of these high spikes in blood sugar, the body goes, hey, I'm going to keep you regulated. I'm going to produce more insulin and I'm going to store that. Now, if you keep on producing high levels of insulin, your body will become insulin resistant, which means you slowly become a type 2 diabetic because this organ right here, the pancreas, is producing so much sugar and you're not moving, you're not burning it off. So the body ends up saying to a point, you know what? Every time you produce it, I'm not going to pay attention to you. I'm so used to seeing you. We're not even going to listen to you. So now all this glucose builds up in the bloodstream and it becomes dangerous. Okay, you can go hypoglycemia, where the cells are not able to actually take the glucose and use it for fuel, and the person will start to lose weight, get sick, and so forth. Type 1 diabetics, another scenario where the body begins to attack the pancreas and slowly either break it down where it doesn't produce enough insulin, or it's not producing regularly, or slowly it just stops producing insulin due to the fact that someone may be taking an external source of insulin, such as, if they're a type 1 diabetic and they give them metmorphin or they give them insulin injectable. The reason why I'm showing you this right now is because I need you guys to all recognize that fat loss is not that hard. What you need to stop doing is eating too much of carbs. Simple as that. We got to get you moving. We got to get you eating protein. We got to get you eating carbs. What kind of carbs? The top one that I'm going to explain to you guys in a little bit. Your veggies and fruits, the best carb source in there. And then we got to have some fat. Okay, next slide. Hold on a second. There you go. Some healthy fats. So let's talk about macronutrients. Now, I'm giving you guys, and I've already sent this to you guys in numerous emails before, a macronutrient grocery list here. These are all the protein foods that I'm suggesting you can be having. Now, if you don't eat pork, and you don't eat bacon, and you don't have seafood, that's fine. That's within your either religious purposes or your background purposes. But for now, what I'm speaking about is here are all the foods that are proteins. Here's another diagram that's going to explain to you what you should be eating less, what you should be eating some of, and what you should be eating a lot of. You can see here tofu, edamame, Canadian bacon, beef jerky, lamb, eat some of. And then you have lean beef, lean pork, plain Greek yogurt, cultured cottage cheese, tempeh, beef, turkey, chicken. These are all the ones that you should be having in more servings of. Scrolling down here, you have your carbohydrates. Okay. Now remember, when it comes to carbohydrates, carbs are not all equal. So I'm going to shift back to this document here, and I'm going to go to proteins because I need to make sure that we all understand what a protein is. Okay. A protein is used for building connective tissue, strengthens and boosts your immune system, boosts your metabolism. When do you have it? At each meal. How much do you have of it? You're going to have 2 palms worth or 1 palm for a male, for a female. So if I want to go and show you guys the different, there you go. Okay. So if you're really, really hungry, you want to have an omelet and you're a guy, make sure the omelet's as big as your hand. You can have 2 of them. Females, you can have 1. You can't really get overweight from protein foods. Now, when it comes to vegetables, fistful of vegetables for each body type or for each person. Carbs, whatever carbs you can fit comfortably in your hand. So you see this person's hand here? That's a female's hand. That's about just under 1 cup. Now, when we go for dinners, we sometimes have a whole plate of pasta or rice. So you know that we're overeating in our portion sizes. Next, you want to look at fat. As long as your thumb, that's 1 ounce, that's 1/4 cup worth of fat. So if you're going to be having almonds, eggs, cheese, edamame beans, pumpkin seeds, 1 to 2 thumbs worth. Okay, so now let's go back up and let's talk about different proteins. Here's the different proteins you can have. I'm not going to go through them one by one, but obviously the more red the protein, the more red the meat, the more higher in fat, the longer it takes to digest, the more white the meat is, the leaner it is, the less fat, the easier to digest. Stuff like some protein powders, Greek yogurts, egg whites, eggs, they digest much faster, right? Within almost an hour. Stuff that looks like chicken and turkey and fish, maybe 1 to 2 hours. And then your red meats, especially the high fatty ones, take longer. That's why we're telling people to not go so high when you're eating red meat if you're trying to lose weight, especially looking at the serving sizes. If you're a male and you're trying to, burn body fat, you're in your 40s, you want to lose fat, build muscle, stay active and lean, an 8-ounce piece of protein is fine for you. You don't need a 12, 15, 16, 18-ounce porterhouse steak. That's just you ingesting from your ego, and that's just you clogging your heart. Those are proteins. Next, we're going to talk about carbs, okay? Now, if I go back to here, these are, brown rice, black rice, wild rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Now, potatoes are on there even though they're a white carb and they're going to be higher glycemic. But if you think of a potato, and all people have been living for years off eating potatoes. I don't think back in the Bible days they had sweet potatoes, but from all the things we've read and heard, potatoes, bread, rice have been the staples. So if you're having a potato and you're boiling it, you're barbecuing it, you're baking it, and you have a half a potato, half a cup's worth, and you put some sour cream on it, you put some, chives on it, you want to put some hummus, whatever your mix is going to be, that's fine. But eating French fries, potatoes in like a whole potato in your plate, or mashed potatoes in high amounts is where the problem kicks in. So these are the carbs that I've put here for you. And then again, I've got carbs you can eat less of, eat some, and eat more of. Okay, beans and lentils, buckwheat, steel cut rolled oats, quinoa, whole grain black and wild rice, potatoes, millet, farro. Look at all these things here: sweet potatoes, corn, fresh and frozen fruit, barley. These are all the ones you should be having. Look over here: fries, cookies, donuts, muffin, pastries, bars. Yet I still see these in people's food journals all the time. So, really, when you're looking at making a change in physical fitness, you got to tell yourself, am I going to take this as something serious? So, when it comes to carbs, now you have three different carb sources, okay? Let's understand this. Carbs provide energy to the muscles, they fuel the brain, and they spare protein and muscles. So if you're eating enough carbs throughout the day, you'll have energy. If you're not eating enough carbs throughout the day and you're going very, very low, your body will go into a state where it needs fuel. And if it doesn't have enough energy, it'll take from protein, and proteins all over your body in the muscles. So, three different types of carbs to have. The best one is your fiber rich carbs. Fiber rich, meaning vegetables and fruits. If you want to break it down even more, fruits with skin on them, even more important. Why? Because that fiber is going to work on cleaning out your intestines, cleaning out your gut. It's going to work on slowing down the spike of the blood sugar because they're a lower glycemic food, and it has more fiber in it because you're eating that skin, that roughage that we need. Okay? So, vegetables. I should not have to tell you which ones you can eat. Go unlimited, except watch out for carrots, corn, and peas. Okay? Carrots, not so much, but corn, especially ones in a can. We don't want to be eating foods that come in a can. It's got full of sodium. Who knows how long it's been sitting in the can, unless it's an emergency. So, when can you have vegetables? Any time of the day, especially more at nighttime. When can you have fruits? Well, you can space it out anytime throughout the day, but you want to make sure that you're having it, I would say, as a snack and not just whenever you feel like having it. You don't want to have a tuna sandwich for lunchtime and then smack a banana and an orange on top of that. I'd rather we stretch out that meal, unless your goal is to gain weight, stretch out 2 to 3 hours later where you have a protein shake, then you mix some of the fruit in the protein shake. So that's a separate meal because we don't want to keep piling on top of each other excess glucose. Okay. Next, we want to look at your carbs. So your whole food starchy carbs are not bad for you. Sprouted whole grains, breads, pastas, potato, yams, pumpkin, quinoa, oats, all these things are fine for you. Millet, wild rice, buckwheat, pita bread, laffa bread, crackers. There's nothing wrong with carbs because we need them for energy. And anyone telling you to not eat carbs and lose weight is just silly. I don't know what planet you live on. I don't know what culture you come from. I'm Greek and my wife's Italian and we have a Mediterranean background. And whether you're Asian, South American, whether you have some Caribbean mix in you, whether you're European, Norwegian, wherever you're from, carbs are a staple. So get smart with them and have them after exercise, AM, or lunch. Now, based on the body type you have, I'm going to open up another screen here at the bottom. Let me see here. Where is it? I'm going to open up my body type ebook so I can show you guys exactly the body types in case you forgot them. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay, booking links. I just put on a separate page. That page we're just looking at is our New Year's goal creator. So I'm going to open this up because sometimes people, when it comes to their body type, they don't pay attention. Okay, 1 second here. Body type ebook, body type ebook. Bang. Sorry for that little detour, guys. So if you've never read this ebook that I'm giving you here, this ebook is available on our website. You can download it, and it gives you the background between the different body types, the different metabolisms, the different speeds that's involved with them. But you got to remember one thing. If you're an endomorphic person and you have a slow metabolism, okay, 3 body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. Ectomorph, tall, long, lanky, small wrists, faster metabolism, hard to gain weight. That's my body type. Okay. Yes, you can say I'm an ass, and yes, you can say it sucks. However, as I get older, I will lose a lot of weight. My bones will be much brittle. My joints will have a faster chance of having arthritic issues, and I will become very, very skinny. Mesomorphic body type, medium metabolism. They gain, they lose. They gain, they lose. Okay. Small joints, wider shoulder, narrow waist. Okay. If you notice you're someone that can put on weight quickly and lose it quickly, why are you having pancakes, orange juice, and oranges for breakfast? Think about it. Why are we eating so much sugar? Endomorphic person right over here. Slow metabolic rate, thick wrists, thick articulations, wide shoulders. You know from a young child you struggled with weight. So if we know that's the body type, and if you go through this here, it gives you some background about the doctor who came up with the philosophy back in the 1940s. It tells you the characteristics of this. If you know that you're an endomorphic person, why are you having a bagel for breakfast? Okay, I'm going to go back to the screen that I had here. So if we're an endomorphic person, why are we having bread for breakfast? Why are we having anything that has to do with carbs for breakfast? You want to trick your body and go protein, vegetables, and fat, which I'll discuss later in the next slide. Okay, but when it comes to carbs, you said number one, veggies and fruits, the best ones to have. Number two, whole starchy carbs. Okay, number three are the refined, the garbage kind. These are the ones that make into our plates every day. Let's go through them in case you forgot when you last had one. Take your hand, and I want you to clap every time you hear one that you've had. Ready, guys? Let's hear how many claps you're going to have. Cakes, cookies, candies. Keep clapping if you hear one that you've had in the last week. Donuts, croissants, chocolate, ice cream, processed foods, soft drinks. If you're still drinking pop and you want to lose body fat, I think you should punch yourself in the face first and say, do I really want to take 35 grams of sugar and put it in my mouth and then go to the gym and tell the poor coaches and the poor gym owner that I'm stuck and I can't lose weight? Then why are you drinking pop? Think about it, guys. Fruit juices. Why are we drinking fruit juices? You want to have something sweet, get a branched chain amino acid drink. Get some sparkling water, take 3 strawberries, crush them and put them inside for some flavor. Okay? Eat the fruits for the flavor. But again, now granola bars, nutrition bars, all garbage. Okay? Now, dried fruits are not that bad of an option if you're able to balance them out and you understand how to have them. For example, it's lunchtime and I want to have a nice Greek salad. I want to have a piece of chicken breast on it. And let's say I'm a female and I'm tired of having yams. I'm tired of having potatoes. I'm tired of having bread. I want something nice and spicy for my meal. So I'm going to grab some cranberries. I'm going to grab some grapes. I'm going to grab some blueberries, fresh ones, and throw them on my salad. And if I don't have some, I can go grab some dried fruit. I got some dried pineapple in here. I got some dried strawberries in here. I got some dried dates in here. So you can throw some of those on top of your salad if you want. Or if you're going to go for a jog or a workout, you want to nibble on some dried fruit beforehand for some energy, great. But if you're just eating them for whenever because you don't have the meal prepared, guys, that's on you because you're not preparing your meals. And you can think about it. You're trying to go to war with yourself. You're trying to change your physique. You're trying to build a lean, sexy, strong physique, yet you got no food with you. Yet you haven't made extra chicken breasts at night. You haven't prepackaged your protein in little baggies. You haven't watched my food prep videos that I've made. I've made 15 of them for you. So if you're trying to get a goal and a physique, but you don't have the ingredients or the ammunition, it's never going to work. And then you keep beating yourself up thinking I'm going to work harder and train longer. No, it doesn't come down to that. Okay? So these I put occasionally, rarely, never at night. Okay? Like if you know you're eating chocolate cookies at nighttime, tell yourself when you're going to have that chocolate cookie to write down why you're having it and to ask someone else, say, hey, can you tell me if it's the right decision or not? And your family will look at you and be like, no, why are you having chocolate at nighttime? You know you want to lose the body fat. and then it'll spark that reminder. But if you don't set the expectations first, you're always going to fail when it comes to that. Okay? So we talked about carbs. Next, fat. This macronutrient is so important. Our body cannot make omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. It can't make amino acids. So we need to be ingesting proteins constantly and fats. Provides energy for your brain, organs, cushioning, insulation, vitamin absorption. Okay, 3 different types. You got saturated, you got monosaturated, and polyunsaturated. Polyunsaturated are your best, second best are the mono, and your third are going to be your saturated. Now, it says how much do you have of this? So 1/3 of an intake. So at every meal, you should be having a small amount of fat. How much? 1 thumb's worth. For a male, you can have 2. For a female, 1. Why? Because we need to make sure our brain keeps fueled. We need to make sure that we're giving ourselves food that's nutrient dense. It's got 9 calories versus 4. And especially for breakfast, where we're not going to be having the carbohydrate, if you are someone that is endomorphic, definitely you should not be having carb for breakfast. I don't care what you're doing, unless you're working out for like 45 minutes to an hour in the morning, empty stomach, and then your breakfast is after that, then I can say no problem. You're eating your post-carb meal or at lunchtime. But if not, if you make a nice omelet, you don't put no nuts, no pumpkin seeds, no cheese in there, and you just have tomatoes, that omelet is going to be low in fat. Although you have the yolk, you don't have enough fat to give you energy to get to the next 3-4 hours of the meal. So any one of these guys are going to be fine for you. Your nuts, your seeds, your eggs, your cheeses, good to go. Okay? Next, before I go into the food journal of the next 2 clients that said, hey, I'll be your guinea pig and I'll let you take my food journal, analyze it, and tell me what you think. I just want to recap food portions, okay? And then I'm going to go through this document here. Now, this document here, without getting into too much confusion, how much time have we doing so far? Let's see here. If I go into my Zoom, 22 minutes, not bad, okay? Hopefully this has got the video on me for the whole time so you can see my facial expressions when I'm getting nervous. This over here is an example that I've made for people from years ago that just helps them understand, based on body type, how to mix and match your meals, okay? So let's take in consideration an ectomorphic person. Ecto. Breakfast, protein, carb, and a fat, okay? Let's give an example. I'm going to have dairy protein, so I'm going to have some eggs. I'm going to have 2 whole eggs and 3 to 5 whites. Why? Because I'm a male, I'm almost 200 pounds, and I need to have minimum 30 grams of protein, 35 per meal. So for a female, she should have minimum 1 yolk and 3 to 4 whites. There's no difference. Maybe just a little bit less fat, but you should be having 20, 25 grams of protein per meal. Why? You're trying to build lean muscle tissue. You're not trying to just have breakfast. Now, I need a carb for breakfast and a fat. So I'm going to go eggs, 3 slices of toast, and some hummus or some peanut butter. Now, someone who's endomorphic, okay, let's go back to body type. Endomorph. Right over here. Okay, slow metabolism. Actually, you know what? I got the endos over here in the beginning. Boom. Okay, slow metabolism, wider bones, blah, blah, blah. You know you got to lose body fat. You know you should not be having certain meals of the day. You will omit the carb for breakfast. Mesomorphic individuals, depending on how much weight you want to lose, you can omit it for breakfast too. So now what does that mean? You're going to have a salad for breakfast? No. You can have some type of lean protein, either cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, protein shake, or eggs. You can have a lean piece of chicken breast. You can have some tuna for breakfast with some mayonnaise as a tuna sandwich. You can have any type of lean proteins if you like. Now, again, you may say, well, that's disgusting. I'm not going to have chicken for breakfast. I'm not going to have nothing but eggs because I can't eat full foods for breakfast. Well, then guess what? You got to make do with your protein shakes, your yogurts, and your eggs. That's not my discretion. If you can't have chicken or tuna with some mayo, you're going to have less chances than I do, okay? Whereas I would have chicken or beef for breakfast, doesn't matter. But you're removing the carb. You don't need it. Meal number 2, ectomorph. Watch the pattern. protein, carb, fat. Meso or endo, protein, veggie, carb, and fat. So if you can understand the concept, every meal needs a protein, carb, and a fat. I don't care who you are. Guy who wants to build 25 pounds of muscle, girl who wants to lose 25 pounds of fat. You need a protein, carb, and fat at every meal. However, the carb is what you can manipulate. Get it? For breakfast, tomato slices with some olive oil and a little bit of sea salt can be your carb source for the female that wants to lose weight with her eggs. And I'm going to have a bagel. I'm trying to gain weight, guys. If the female who wants to lose weight has oatmeal, what is she doing? She's dumping a slow carbohydrate in her mouth first thing in the morning. The body goes, whoa, what are we going to do with this? Our metabolic rate's slow. You gave me cookies last night for dinner. I'm going to go back and store this. Let's go back to the storage document. Bang. You can't be dumping foods into your mouth that are high, dense carbohydrate foods first thing in the morning. So we can make a meal plan for you, which makes it easy. But again, lunchtime, all body types. Here's where you want to enjoy your dense carb if you're looking for weight loss or after a workout, which means if you work out for first thing in the morning, then you're done your breakfast, the endomorphic female can say, hey, I just worked out. Dimitri said I deserve my carb. Yes, I'm going to have some eggs. I'm going to have some tomato slices in my omelet. I'm going to have some feta cheese or some cheddar cheese. And I want to have today an apple. Or I want to have some blueberries. Or I want to have a slice of Frida bread or Ezekiel bread. Or one of the breads that are sprouted grain with low sugar, high fiber. Remember, if you buy a bread that's got 17 grams of carb and it's got 15 grams of fiber, 17 minus 15 is 2 grams of net carb. That's an amazing bread to get. But if you're buying breads or foods that are low in fiber, you're not going to have that removal of the carb amount. Okay? So lunchtime, all people have the carb. Now how much? Half cup to 3/4 cup for a female, 3/4 cup to 1 cup for a male. Veggies and fat, no problem. You can have it every meal, no problem. So for example, I'm going to have a chicken souvlaki with a cup of rice and tomatoes and some olive oil. Someone else may have a tuna sandwich on whole grain bread and some tomato slices and the mayonnaise as their fat. Someone else may have a protein shake with some oatmeal. And so half cup oatmeal, half cup fruit, makes 1 cup of carb, plus some spinach and some fat. Another person may have fajitas, chicken fajitas, beef fajitas with some tortillas, some whole grain if possible, and some tomatoes and some guacamole. So really dieting isn't that hard. It's a matter of, are you going to stop before you eat and look at the food like it's Lego blocks and say it's protein, carb, or fat, and then put them together? Now, you see me having 2 snacks here. If you're someone that is trying to lose more than 20, 25 pounds, you don't need all these snacks. You can go well with a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 meals, you're good to go. I have them there because there's different people who are very athletic, medium, and then non-athletic. So I have to be able to gauge and give them some guidelines. Now, dinner. Notice I got dinner 1, dinner 2. No, I'm not crazy. I may be Greek, but I'm not crazy. So dinner 1 and dinner 2 is specifically made for the athletic male and female. Who am I talking about? The mom or dad that may have their first meal around 5 or 6 with the family, with the kids, or you finish work and you're having your early dinner at 6 o'clock. And if you're trying to lose weight, okay, we follow the plans here. An ectomorph would have a protein. Again, lean protein, legumes, dairy, shake. If you don't know what they are, go back to the macronutrient list that I've given you at the top of the page. Bang, there's your proteins. Okay, if you don't know them, they're right there for you. And they're going to have their carb, rice, pasta. I put whole grain there because they're an ectomorph. They need to build the muscle tissue. They're trying to gain weight. It says here, ecto meaning weight gain, have it every night. Now, a mesomorphic person or endomorphic person, 19 out of 20 times they want to lose weight. So, protein, vegetable, and fat. It's still the same macronutrients, protein, carb, and fat. The only difference, guys, is watch this. We're back to the carb document. You're tricking your body by going fiber-rich carb versus starchy carb. Okay? Let's go back down here. So, examples. The endomorphic client, male client that wants to lose 70 pounds is going to have for dinner one, a chicken salad with feta cheese. Yes, it may sound boring, but guess what? Get creative with your dinners. Now, if they have a chicken and salad at 6 o'clock at night and they stay awake till late, till midnight, and they work till late, or they're working in a factory, they're out and they're working. Now, the chicken salad didn't have a carb in it, so it didn't fuel you with extra energy, which means you may get hungry around 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So my philosophy is this. Instead of telling you to fast, which is a great idea if you want to lose more than 25 pounds, cut it off after 7, 8 o'clock at night. Go till the next morning at 10 o'clock. Great. But if you can't follow that and you know you're going to binge at nighttime, I'd rather you go back and have a dinner too, which says repeat meal 5 without the carbohydrate for all meso and endo body types. Protein, veggies, and a fat again. So I'm going to have a chicken breast with a Greek salad at 6 o'clock at night. And at 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to open up a can of tuna. I'm going to put some mayonnaise on it. I'm going to grab some broccoli or some celery, and I'm going to scoop that up, and I'm going to eat that while I'm watching TV. Nothing's wrong with that, guys. You cannot get fat from that. Remember that. Now, what else can you have? Cookies, chips, Pringles, pretzels, fruits, cake, garbage. So what would you rather have? Another meal of protein and salad and healthy fat? Or even a Greek yogurt? My wife is notorious for getting Greek yogurt, putting some strawberries in, putting some protein powder in, blending it up and making her own little ice cream at nighttime, okay? For the kids as well. So this is what we're talking about in terms of performance nutrition and food combining. Now, let's go to the food journals, okay? So let's go through the dissection of this food journal here. It kind of got sloppy towards the end, but what's important is you guys understand what I've put through here. How am I doing on time? Let's see here. 23 minutes. Love it. 32, sorry. So, first person. This is a female. Female that weighs, I'm not going to tell you how much she weighs, but okay, you don't know her name. So 55 kilograms. They want to lost 20 pounds, 2017. They come 5 times a week. They want weight loss and muscle gain. And their favorite unhealthy food is alcohol. No problem. I like vodka soda too. So let's talk about her meal plan now. Okay. Now, typically, I would say if she's a female and she's 55 kgs times 2.2, she's 121 pounds. She should be getting 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So times 0.8, 96. Let's see if there's 96 grams per day. First meal, now there's no wake-up time, so it's good to know your wake-up time and bedtimes. Tea, yogurt, pancakes, and eggs. So there's 2 eggs and 2 pancakes. So I put here not the best type of carb. Unless they're homemade pancakes and you're making them with almond flour versus regular flour, unless you're putting some protein powder in there, you're putting healthy ingredients, right? But she's ectomorphic, trying to put on some muscle. We got her eggs, her fat, and her protein, and her pancake. Now, look what happens here. No lunch. So from the morning all the way till 6 o'clock p.m., her metabolism does this. Her body starts conserving energy and saying, hey, I don't know if you're on a desert island or not, but the next time you have carbs, I'm going to hold on to them. What happened? For dinners we had pasta, does that say Chinese? Beef, chicken, honey glazed, and tea. So the beef and the chicken's great, but that pasta that came in, it says long and thick. So that pasta that came in late at nighttime, you can come in. The pasta that came in late at night spiked blood sugar really high. And when I say spiked blood sugar, let's go back to the diagram here. Bang. At dinner time, spiked blood sugar, body produce insulin, all the excess glucose goes up. goes into storage. Where's it going? Unless she's training to become a bodybuilder and become really, really strong, it's going to go to fat. Okay? So let's go to the next meal. I go, this carb will spike blood sugar due to the fact that you never had any meals beforehand. Okay? Next day, there's banana, tea, and rice pudding. Banana, quick carb, tea, empty, rice pudding. So remember what I said first thing for breakfast? If you're dumping carbs in your mouth first thing for breakfast, you're going to spike blood sugar. What calms blood sugar down? Protein. There's no protein in there. So the person, if you go back to the last day and we add it up, I'm going to say she had 2 chicken breasts for dinner. Let's say 50 grams of protein, plus 2 eggs, plus 7, 64 grams of protein. So she's low in the first day. Second day, sushi for lunch. So depending on how many, let's say she had 6 pieces of sushi, no snack, and then rice with beef for dinner. So again, had she went with beef and vegetables and some pumpkin seeds for her dinner and removed the nighttime rice, the body would say, hey, you're giving me protein, you give me vegetables, you give me fat, you're not giving me no excess sugar, so I need extra energy. Well, where am I going to get it from? I'm going to take it off my body. I'm going to start metabolizing extra glucose off my body. Okay? That day alone, let's say there's no protein for breakfast, sushi, let's say 20 grams in her sushi, let's say 25 to be nice. Looking at her beef, let's give her 40 grams, which I guarantee you she did not have. So far for 2 days, she's had 65 grams of protein. So there's already a problem. This female's not eating enough protein. She's overtraining, burning muscle. Let's go to the next day. Yogurt and banana. Well, hold on a second here, guys. I said, if you want to have a healthy meal, why not go protein, carb, and fat? Let's go back here. Yogurt. Let's just say it's Greek yogurt. Let's just say she's eating Greek yogurt only and a banana. If you would have had some nuts in there, all that together would have slowed down the digestion of the meal versus going yogurt and banana. And especially if it's a regular yogurt, a high sugar one, it's a banana, we're spiking first thing in the morning. Especially if she goes for an AM workout, which I think she does at 7 a.m. When she's done her workout, there should be a piece of protein in there, which is not. So then we go to the next meal. Rice with beef, cookies and yogurt. What did I circle in red, guys? Rice, cookies, yogurt. Too much sugar. Dinner time. Pasta, chicken, and juice. Remember what I talked about with glucose? Juice and pasta should never go together in the same category unless you're trying to put on mass and you're a skinny ectomorph. If not, we should not be drinking juice. We don't need it. So this day again, protein, let's say she's at 65 again. So she's not even at 90 grams of protein. So her protein is far too little. Next day, no breakfast, apple, orange, yogurt. Way too much sugar. Sushi for lunch. So we've got sugar there, small bits of protein. Sushi is great, guys, but it's not like having a nice 6 ounces of salmon and then having a small half cup of rice on the side and then a massive salad, okay? Pizza and fries, empty calories here, spiking blood sugar here, spiking blood sugar in the morning, dinner time, pasta, chips, quarter pack. So notice the pattern. Late carbs every night, high calorie foods, very low protein. How can you expect to build lean muscle mass when you're eating like this? Now, this is okay because we want to take this as a learning experience. We want to utilize these clients' ability to give us their full food journals and to learn from it. Next day, yogurt and banana. So I don't like this mix, especially banana first thing for breakfast. I want to have fruits with what? We said skin on them. Slows down the digestion, okay? And if there was a protein shake, protein powder, a scoop of powder, this female can have 25, 30 grams every morning for breakfast. She's not. Next meal, overnight oats and a cookie. Oh, man. So this whole morning up until lunch, a sandwich with turkey and veggies. So I go first protein and it's far too little. The first protein of the day comes at lunchtime, and there's so much carbs being bundled up here. And then from lunch, there's nothing all the way down till dinner, crispy beef, Chinese. So I'm not sure if this is fried. The next day, yogurt, tea, and cheese. So think about it. Cheese and a small piece of yogurt isn't enough fuel for someone to build muscle. I don't care if you're a female listening to this and you're wanting to lose 30 pounds, or you're a female wanting to build 10 pounds, you're a male wanting to lose 30 or build 10. Muscle tissue requires protein. It requires an abundance of it. It requires you to lift weights and get stronger and tax your body. But if we're constantly eating carbs and a small amount of protein, how can you expect the body to suck fat for energy when you keep fueling it with carbs? It's not. Cheese, I don't know, this is a crazy meal. Cheese, blitzers, jam, water, tea. This is lunchtime, guys. Lunch should be like this: a piece of protein, some carb, vegetables, and fat. Dinner, piece of protein, lots of vegetables, a piece of fat, tiny carb or no carb. Breakfast, big piece of protein, big piece of fat, big piece of vegetables. Carb, what body type am I? I'm an ectomorph, throw it in there. I'm a mesomorph, have maybe half cup of fruit. I'm an endomorph, I don't need it. Don't need it. Fast until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And then slowly break your fast with something healthy, such as a protein shake with some protein powder, a half cup to a quarter cup of blueberries, and some peanut butter. Instead of having a slice of bread, get it? Or have an omelet with a few blueberries and some cheese on the side. Then here we go to a branzino fish and veggies. Yes, finally. Protein, vegetables, there's alcohol there. I'm okay with a glass of wine or some alcohol, but there's no carb for dinner. So if she were to have no carb for dinner every night of the week and only have carb for breakfast and lunch, her body goes, I get it. We go higher energy in the morning, moderate to lunch, dinner we come down and crash. Let's suck fat while you sleep. Okay? And then check out the weekend. Tea, I don't know what that is. Flinches. So let's just say it could be something that we don't know. Apple and banana, pasta salad. There's no protein all day. Chicken breast, finally, some homemade cake, veggies and chicken soup, and then we got, again, some rice. So this is an example of female. My recap for this female is stop the high sugar breakfasts, add protein, keep consistent meal times, heavy carbs at night, choose nutrient dense foods, okay, and more protein. Okay, this is a male. Sorry if it's taking long, guys, but you know what? If you want to learn sometimes, it takes time to learn. You can't learn to become a lean animal, a lean physique if you're not learning. So, how was your result so far? 22 pounds of weight loss so far. Good job, champ. 5'8", 187 to 188. Are there any barriers preventing you from sticking to the meal plan? No. Any unhealthy foods, cheesies, and salty cravings? See what I mean? This guy likes cheesies. I like dill pickle chips. I like dark chocolate. Some people like cake. We all have a crazy tooth, okay? When do you feel the most energy in the morning? When do you feel the least? Afternoon? When do you think, are you ready to make changes? Yes. Okay, so let's talk about his meal. So he's got morning wake time and evening time. Great, because now I can gauge timing, right? Performance nutrition is based on time, food amount, and food type. So 2 pieces of multigrain toasts, nut butter, and coffee. Come on, brother. What are we doing here? We're forgetting protein. Okay? Next meal, 2 scoops of protein shake. Okay, so what we could have done was could have had the 2 slices of multigrain, because this guy's not endomorphic. He's an ectomorphic trying to burn off body fat. 2 slices of protein powder, put some nut butter, get some almond milk, protein shake, and drink that with your first meal. Then your next meal could have been a small Greek yogurt with some nuts inside. Now, lunchtime, trout fish, spring salad. Some may be thinking, well, that's a great meal. Well, actually, no. Why? There's no carb. Remember we said lunchtime, carb, all body types. So by eliminating the carb at lunchtime, you're going to start crashing for dinner. And you're going to start really wanting to eat high carb meal for dinner. Let's go through this. Cheese and brown bread. So no protein again. We only had trout fish, let's say 35, 40 grams, plus 2 scoops of protein powder. So let's say he gets 28 times 2 plus 40, 96 grams of protein. This is a male we're talking about that weighs 180, way too low in protein. Next day, 2 pieces of multigrain. No protein, no fat. Okay? Nuts as a snack, great. Philly cheesesteak sandwich, multigrain, great. I add vegetables. Then you have your next meal, pasta and mushrooms. No protein. What is going on here? I think people are forgetting that the most important macronutrient you need to eat every day is protein. We're trying to build muscle tissue. You can't build muscle tissue without protein consumption. Okay? So that day again, his protein intake may have been 45 grams, 50, and he's a male. Next day, a piece of multigrain bread, nut butter. So no protein at all. Let's go to Thursday. 2 fried eggs. Oh my God. But then look what happened. There's 2 fried eggs and there's no carb. So we're having some macronutrients without the other. We need all 3 at every meal. What are they, guys? Protein, carb, fat. Yes. Which macronutrient can we change and substitute? The carb. Bravo. Nuts, Brazilian nuts, macadamia nuts. Now, make sure you're going to be having nuts. Do I have a measuring tape here? Do I have a measuring cup? I do have a measuring cup somewhere. Somewhere in my office. If you're going to be having nuts, you can have nuts, but I want you to have a 1/4 cup of nuts. Okay? Now, next meal here, we're going to be going through is chicken shawarma and a salad. Beautiful. Chicken, protein, chicken shawarma, the style of chicken, on the bread, the bun that comes with it, fine, your carb, and then your next after that, your salad. Dark chocolate, no problem with your tea, I'm good to go. 2 scoops of protein powder. So it's better than missing the protein, but I would rather you have a real dinner, okay? Or have a chicken salad with some pine nuts or some macadamia nuts. Hold the carb if you're trying to get lean, and then later on for dinner, like if you're eating at 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, then have your protein shake with your water, your ice, your spinach, your peanut butter, and then you can go to bed at 11 o'clock. Next, chicken breast schnitzel, spring mitts, great. Again, if there's no carb here, I'm not liking that. Cold cuts and melted cheese. I put very high fat, very high sodium, very low carb. Add a salad to this. Remember, guys, the 2 most missed ingredients that people are missing are salads, big vegetables, and protein. Everyone consumes too much carbohydrates. Why? It's easy to eat. Okay? 2 pieces of multigrain bread, nut butter. Again, same thing. There's no protein. So for this guy here, I put no consistency with protein. Needs minimum of 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. We're skipping the carbs at lunch, which is a no-no. We're skipping the protein at breakfast, which is a big no-no. And we need to keep carbs to 1/2 cup at nighttime, okay? So cold cuts, keto bread, tomato and lettuce, no problem. But try to remove it at nighttime, okay, guys? I hope you enjoyed this food audit on these 2 clients. I'm sorry if it took a little longer. I will be creating a meal plan program for all the clients in the studio as of the new year, and you'll be able to get them. What I've done is I've broken down meal plans into different categories for an ectomorph. I've got, for example, 1,800, 2,000, 2,400, 2,800. And if you need a meal plan, I'm going to give you one of either of those to work with. For a mesomorphic person, endomorphic person, same thing. If you have any questions, please send me an email. You can message me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll answer you there. But please remember, it all starts with your body type. Okay? You can't be eating foods just for the heck of it. Where's my first page here? Okay, this is the scientific approach that I have fell in love with and wanted my members to know of. It makes sense. I don't care what gym you look at. I don't care what physiques you look at. I don't care what scientific diet you're going to follow. Start with your body type. If you're an endomorphic person, top right hand corner, and you know you got some work to do, and you know you got 50 pounds to lose, your carbs are coming at lunchtime and after workout. Boom, that's it. What kind of carbs? Whole grain carbs, your non-refined carbs, your fruits, your vegetables, okay? Yams, black rice, brown rice, sweet potatoes, beans, healthy foods, not white breads, not white pasta. Okay. If you're someone that's in the middle category trying to lose weight, but you gain and lose weight, okay, well, watch the carb amount. Instead of having a fist, have a half a fist, half a cup. Okay. Instead of having carbs for breakfast, remove it from breakfast. Let your body hunger a bit. Give it a nice tuna mix with some tomatoes and some celery and some nuts and a can of tuna with some mayo. I know it may sound crazy, but what do you care about? What's crazy or how you're going to look? Do you care about eating a little bit differently for the next 3 to 4 months and getting the result you want? Or do you want to continue being stuck? That's it. That's all for today. Eat right, train right for your body type. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Much love to all of you. And remember, when it comes to health and fitness, your attitude is everything. Don't forget that. Peace.